I honestly believe that the issue of representation is very fundamental, which is why there is a lot of noise in the country about zoning and what have you. But I don't believe the zoning model put in place by PDP over the years is serving us the way it should serve us. Because it's a blind approach. You just sit down, you look at all the offices of the party, and then office to a state without necessarily looking into the potential of where you can get the best. My preference would be that leaders have to sit down and look at members they have and leaders they have across all the country. And there are, I tell you, there are 5 critical positions. From our last experience, we need to be very clear about that. The 2 deputy national chairmen, any one of them has to be ready to assume the position of a national chairman. National secretary, in fact, national secretary is very, very fundamental. In fact, from our experience with the caretaker committee, I tell you, part of the disaster is not having a competent secretary. I'm sorry, I'm not personalizing it, but that is the reality. We need a competent secretary, because without a competent secretary, the bureaucracy of the party will be weak. No organization function effectively without a valid, a very efficient bureaucracy. So we need to sort out all of that. You need a competent secretary, legal advisor with all the delicate things. Now parties, if we don't take time, courts will be running affairs of the party. So if you have a very strong legal advisor, the party will be protected. National Organizing Secretary, the heart of negotiating candidate selection process. National Publicity Secretary is about communication. Now, if you ask me, and I have written severally about it, if you ask me, one of our greatest weaknesses as a party and as a government is that our communication is almost zero. With all that is going on today, PDP is having a voice. Largely because we are not communicating. They will tell us we are corrupt. These are people who stole $2.1 billion and share among themselves, and they are now having a voice. Throughout their tenure, ask them, even with the problem of insecurity we are having, ask them how much investment have they made in terms of equipment and personnel of the armed forces. So we need a publicity secretary that will be very active in communicating the vision and all the initiative the party is taking. And therefore, we must appeal to our leaders. Instead of doing this blind approach to zoning, sit down, and I'm absolutely sure it can be balanced. There are very competent people across. Search for very competent people. And I'm very sure part of the problem why that is almost impossible is because, and this is the fundamental issue, our leaders want people who are loyal to them, who can guarantee their emergence as candidates at different levels. But we need to remind our leaders that experience so far from 1999 to date has indicated that that never guaranteed the political safety of leaders. Some of the major flashpoints of conflict, interpersonal conflict between leaders and those who succeed them, is because of this blind approach to so-called loyalty. If you get a very competent person who has confidence in himself, who can take initiative, you are likely to be much more protected in the hands of such a person.
I've always known that a certain group of people, for selfish reasons, have always tried to push their selfish agenda ahead of that of our national interest. And we, the young people in APC, a representation of the larger group of young people, young Nigerians, who believe in this country, we believe in this party as a party to take this country to where it has to be, have decided to take up the one responsibility we have not always taken, that is the leadership. I mean, getting involved in how we govern. You know, I mean, enough of all of the protests, enough of, we want to be actively involved in how the leadership is made. We want to be actively involved in how our future is being discussed or being implemented. And this is just first. I mean, we've had many press conferences in the APC rebirth. This is first of bringing young minds together and aligning and actually speaking with one voice in the interest of the larger populace. Yeah, anybody can declare for presidency. It's within the right of anyone to declare for presidency. I'm personally speaking, I think Ashaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is more than qualified to run for president. For my personal aspiration, I think he deserves the APC presidential ticket. You need to understand something, that the fact that he declared does not mean he's already gotten the ticket. So he's still going to have to seek the confidence and the trust of the members of the party to nominate him as our presidential candidate, just like President Muhammad Buhari did in 2014. So everyone will have the level playing field, which is exactly what this program is about, to be able to give everybody the opportunity to test himself or herself in whatever aspiration anyone has. We are worried that the details of the convention is not announced, but we are confident that it will happen. They know it has to happen.
No matter how good you are, the one thing that we want to do at all time as humans is to actually get better. You want to be better than yesterday, and you want your tomorrow to be better than today. So if we say, or if someone organized a summit for my political party and invite me to come and listen to how we can rebuild our dreams, it's only natural that we welcome such moves. And quite interesting, you see how filled the place is, and also discussions are going on, because like I said, the party was actually built on the basis of a set of idealism, and that idealism is about progressiveness. So it's only also natural that sometimes, as people are joining on this set of ideology, that we may miss some steps or our ways. So we take a step back, take a breath, and then try to take an account of how your journey has gone so far. If there are some things to correct, we tell ourselves the truth and correct it. Because at the end of the day, we must have a party that is based on ideology that is different from the other parties. If ordinary Nigerians cannot distinguish between APC and any other political party in Nigeria, then we have failed in the set of idealism we believed in at the formation of this party.